What's up, guys? It's your boy GP with DeOrganized Media, bringing you another awesome episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars in the same room, discuss the latest alpha, Bitcoin, and what's going on in the world, along with kicking out high frequency vibes. I hope you guys have started your week off on the right foot. Hopefully, you've had a nice, restful weekend, moving right back into a very eventful week. Yeah, it's been good for me. It's been a good Monday. Good frequencies going all around. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what the rest of the week brings. But I got some cool bookmarks. I mean, took some notes and got some bookmarks to discuss with you guys. Let's get right into it and start doing the news with you. Let me get to my bookmarks. Where are my bookmarks? There we go. This is where it's at right here. So coming from Block9 app, and you can follow that handle at Block9 app with the number 9. The Bitcoins must flow. Block9 app 30-second merch unbox. This is Mr. Wagme unboxing a piece of merch. Let's take a look at this. Big shout out to Mr. Wagme. You guys go give Block9 app a follow. A bunch of awesome merch and other services with Block9 app. Coming from Rafiko.btc from Rafa, Charisma is back live. When you laugh at Charisma, Charisma struggles, Charisma falls, and then Charisma gets back up and gets stronger. We did not rise suddenly. We rose daily. Rise. So they have this new platform, new updated swap here that I'll share with you guys in a little bit. You guys go follow Rafa, go follow Charisma, base builders in the ecosystem. You can follow Charisma at Charisma BTC and Rafiko at Rafa Stacks. Big shout out to the guys. Coming from Stacks, or Sam from Stacks Labs, hashtag free Stacks Labs. Their account has been suspended. So free my guys, man. Free my guys. I know that's a rough thing to go through, but I'm excited to announce that I will be attending the IoT West Africa Data Center Cloud Expo as an invited guest, proudly representing Stacks Labs. I look forward to exploring the immense technological potential of Africa. Big shout out to my guy, Sam. You can follow him at the Liberal Thumb. Representing for Stacks Labs, and free my guys out the can, straight up. Moving on from the legend of all Stacks legends, Jackspin Switch, and you can follow him at Jackspin Switch. Pay attention, NFTs aren't dead, they're just being iterated on. And coming from another legend in this space, Rubes, and you can follow him at Rubes_BTC, the founder of Leo and STX Tools. Recently saw that VFriends had Topps Chrome set coming out and decided to join the raffle. Super happy that I got 2 boxes coming. I'm a sucker for trading cards, and to see an NFT project make it to Topps could be a big onboarding event / wave. Let's go, Gary V. Awesome to see that he won this little giveaway here. And I do agree that NFTs aren't dead. They are being iterated on. Very base take from the legend of Stacks Legends, Jackson Switch. Moving on. Node rocks. This is one Ordinals project that you do not want to sleep on. Of course, this is my own opinion, not financial advice. Do your own research. This community takeover is a strong one. Check out what they got going on. Friday is the day. We're going live with the first Sinrocks game dev stream, powered by Warp. Built in public with Matthew Buxton and ex Angry Birds, Riot Games, 20 plus years of game design now building on Bitcoin. No teaser, no vaporware. This is real-time game dev. Solid. I'm excited to see this happen and go down. So I'm going to give that a like and a repost. Coming from the main Stacks handle at Stacks, SBTC withdrawals are now live, building trust and paving the way for broader adoption. But here's the signal: less than 1% has been withdrawn. Proof that people don't just want to hold their BTC; they want to put it to work. Yes, this is a more programmable Bitcoin asset. Whenever you peg your BTC into the Stacks network, you are still carrying that decentralized ethos, decentralized, no federated systems, one-to-one Bitcoin backed, you name it. This is the go-to decentralized Bitcoin asset, the only one of its kind. SBTC, go get you some. Coming from Stacking DAO, and you can follow them at Stacking DAO. The Stacking DAO cycle update is here. Start earning a daily yield rather than waiting for the cycle to end. Plus, earn more rewards with the new Bitflow STX Flex Pool. Catch up on the latest updates from the past 2 weeks. So let's read into this just a little bit. Important new feature for STSDX and STSDX BTC. No more waiting for 2-week cycles to receive rewards. Now you can earn yield daily. With this upgrade, users no longer need to wait 14 days for rewards. Yield is now earned daily. Learn how continuous yield works with Stacking DAO Lite. Stacks community keeps adding liquidity to earn stacking rewards, pushing Stacking DAO to new all-time highs with 77 million STX deposited and 42K plus holders. Wow. Big growth. As Kevin Williams noted, about 4.49% of the total STX supply is now on Stacking DAO, leaving plenty of liquidity still to unlock. Very, very cool stuff. I love to see these metrics, the growth in TVL of our ecosystem. Stacking with Stacking DAO secures the ecosystem while earning you the best yields in a more flexible environment now that you are getting daily rewards. Very based. DeFi updates related to Stacking DAO. The new Bitflow STX Flex Pool, which uses a variable midpoint, is live. It makes early unstacking much more affordable, and liquidity providers can earn an additional 10% APY on top of their stacking yield. Very, very based. That's a lot of yield there. Liking that right there. Liquid stacking token, or LSTs, like STSDX and STSDX BTC are becoming increasingly valuable as collateral for stacks. With Stacking DAO's LSTs yielding up to 10% APY, you can now earn a net positive yield by borrowing low-rate assets, e.g. a currently USDH on Zest. If you did not catch it, USDH is the first Bitcoin-backed stablecoin in existence. Get rid of your fiat-based stables. Get you some base stablecoins with USDH and Hermetica. Big shout out to the guys. On Zest. So yeah, USDH is now powering liquidations on Zest. They have supplied over $1 million in collateral to borrow, making USDH very, very cheap. Last time I checked on Zest, it was like 2 point something percent, which you're not going to get a loan that cheap with perfect credit. So go utilize these, these different DeFi routes for arbitrage opportunities, and you may never know. You might need some stables, and you might want to leverage up on your stacks because you're feeling extra bullish because you are talking to all the based founders in the ecosystem constantly on DeOrganized Nightly. I'm just kind of explaining my situation there. Let me just move on. Other initiatives and news related to Stacking DAO. Many in the Stacks ecosystem are attending conferences in Dubai, including Stacking Summit and Token 2049. But most importantly, Munib is catching up with some Stacking DAO folks. So here we got a base founder and the based founder, Munib and Tycho, kicking it together here. Look at these handsome guys, man. Knock them dead, fellas. Liking that and sharing that. Shout out to the guys. Users shouldn't have to wait an entire cycle to unstack their STX. Stacking DAO is helping push the Phrygia proposal to remove the cooldown cycle, making flexible and efficient stacking a reality. So very, very cool here. And we have a proposal here. Let's read what they have to say about this. These are great improvements. Thanks for working on this, Phrygia. Especially lock once and automatically extend by one POX cycle each time is important. This way, pool operators don't need to manually extend the lock for each stacker. Also, changing delegation to another pool without cooldown will be a big win. And from Tycho chimes in here and says, extremely bullish on this. I'm here to do whatever I can to make sure this gets into the next hard fork. Very, very base building going on. Want to catch up in the latest in the Stacks ecosystem? Don't miss the latest edition of What's Happening on Stacks, a thread. You guys go make sure that you're following Stacking DAO to stay in the know. There's lots of based articles and metrics posted weekly that keeps you in the know. And get into the Discord too. We have plenty of initiatives, and we will be doing, a lot of cool activities. You might want to get in there and have some fun with us, grow with the growing community. Moving on, the Stacking DAO docs are now available in Chinese, making it easier and more accessible for users to understand how the protocol works. And it has this picture here. Have Stacking DAO in English and then Stacking DAO in Chinese as well. So that's very cool. I like to see this type of action. Yeah, cool stuff. Coming from Zest Protocol, and you can follow them at Zest Protocol. Come hang out with the Stacks community in the Zest Town Hall AMA. It's perfect. It's the perfect place to discuss new developments in Stacks, hear Web3 updates, and have fun together. Tune in on Wednesday, May 8th at 11 a.m. EST. You guys go follow Zest Protocol and tune into the Zest Community Town Hall on Wednesday at 11 a.m. ET. Moving on, put all of your Stacks assets to work in seconds. Zest makes it effortless with the new one-click supply button. Head over to Zest to check out your estimated rewards and average APY on your wallet balance at any time. This is a major UI improvement. I'm going to like and share this here. Just getting to go to Zest and connect your wallet and see what you could potentially be earning for supplying collateral on Zest. It's a no-brainer, right? Go supply your collateral. Go start earning based APY in the Stacks ecosystem. Base builders build on Bitcoin via Stacks. And I posted this earlier today. You can follow me at GPSC_STX. GM Stacks fam, another start to the week. There's much planned this month. Be sure to tune into DeOrganized shows to stay in the know. And that you can follow us at DeOrganized BTC. New activity schedules for May are available in the Zest Protocol and Stacking DAO Discords. Check them out. And we have these, I put these together. So for the Zest Discord activity schedule, we have this outlined here. This is also my pinned tweet. So if you're interested in seeing the Stacking DAO and Zest Protocol Discord activity schedules, go check it out. Go follow me at GPSC_STX. Stay in the know. Join both the Discords. Plenty of initiatives, plenty of activities. Got poker, got Pokemon, got Rumbles, got meme coins, you name it. Got it in the Discords, and we are connecting and growing the community. And it's a lovely time to be in both communities. We have some base community members and founders in both Discords. Moving on from the Cointelegraph, I guess we'll get straight into the bigger news. From outside of the ecosystem. It looks like Vitalik Buterin proposed simplifying Ethereum with the Fusaka fork, a new consensus layer, and possible shift to Risk VM to boost scalability and resilience. Cool if you're an ETH maxi. Moving on from there, just in, Donald Trump gave conflicting answers on whether he's profited from his meme coin Trump, admitting he hasn't even looked at the earnings. Based president. New Bitcoin's mining difficulty dropped from 3.34% to 119.12 terahash at block height 895,104, with network hash rate averaging 885.45. Yeah, I don't know that metric there. Good luck. But yeah, they have this here. It looks like a mining difficulty. It looks like it eased up a bit there. New Pump Fund generated 294 million in fees so far in 2025, surpassing Ethereum's 249 million. Pump Fund Pump Fund generated 294 million in fees, and Ethereum only did 249. Wow, they look at that. Cool. Just in, an early Ethereum ICO participant sold 1,500 ETH worth $176 million, or 1.76 million dollars. I'm sorry, totaling 16,500 ETH sold since April 17th, with 13,500 ETH still held. This whale is taking profits. He came back alive last week. He was dormant until last week, and now he's just selling his ETH bags. Maybe he's speculating on more secure, faster, cheaper options to do DeFi. Stacks. Latest, Trump is set to raise millions this month through 2 crypto-focused dinners, including a 1.5 million per plate fundraiser and a May 22nd event for Trump token holders. I was making jokes about this dinner for Trump token holders. Maybe they show up. You know how he likes to eat like McDonald's. He's a big fan of fast food, right? What if they just show up and it's like some Big Macs sitting there on the table? Funny. I mean, I laughed at my own joke. Don't laugh at me. Just in, Kyrgyzstan's gold-backed dollar-pegged stablecoin USDKG will launch in Q3, backed by 500 million in gold, with plans to expand reserves to 2 billion. Cool. Got a gold-backed stablecoin there. Alert: the Curve Finance account on X has likely been hacked. So if you follow Curve Finance, you guys be careful. Looks like they've got a scam message here. Wait, what? We're kicking off the first CRV airdrop with a week-long blah blah blah. Looks like it's been hacked, guys, or compromised. Please be careful. Do not go participate in any of this type of tomfoolery. Do not go register for CurveFi airdrop. Keep yourself safe. And thank you to Cointelegraph for keeping us in the know. Moving on. Trump's gala dinner with Trump meme coin holders is set for May 22nd, which we just figured out up there. Today, the SEC has announced the agenda and panelists for its May 12th roundtable on tokenization, while the DeFi roundtable has been rescheduled to June 9th. Okay. Just in, Similar Scientific SMLR acquires 167 BTC for 16.2 million. Now holds 3,634 BTC, making it the 4th largest Bitcoin treasury in the US. Wow. People are hodling Bitcoin. People are loving Bitcoin. It is the hardest asset in existence. And, from scientific groups to universities to nation states, everybody is adopting Bitcoin. Bullish: the total value of tokenized real-world assets has surpassed 22 billion, up 10.25% over the past 30 days. Ethereum leads with 6.5 billion, up 30% in 30 days, followed by ZK Sync at 2.2 billion. Real-world assets on Bitcoin. Hamilton, maybe. Got to get the Hamilton guys on here. I want to talk to them about their real world asset strategy on Bitcoin. New ETH accumulation addresses grew holdings by 22.5% since March, signaling strong conviction and short-term bullish expectations, where we are seeing other whales from ICO era days for ETH sell off. Mixed signals for me. Bullish Strategy has acquired 1,895 BTC between April 28th and May 4th at an average price of 95,167, totaling, $180.3 million. Very, very cool. Big base buys coming from MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor. Cool. Just in, wrapped Bitcoin WBTC goes live on Solana. So they now have WBTC and SBTC on Solana. Very cool. Latest, BlackRock's 13F filings reveals over 5.4 billion, that's billion with the B, in Bitcoin-related holdings. Wow, that is a lot of Bitcoin. Go ahead, BlackRock, do your thing. And these are the people that you're selling your Bitcoin to at these levels, man. They're just buying your sats for cheap. Do not sell your Bitcoin to BlackRock. Hodl on. stay strong. Don't get shaken out. And I think this might be one of the last ones here that I'm going to read. Today, U.S. Treasury to deliver key report today on building a strategic Bitcoin reserve using seized BTC per Trump executive order. So they're going to, I guess, bootstrap their strategic reserve with seized BTC. Let's see. This was something interesting I read. Early Bitcoin entrepreneur Charlie Shrem launches 21million.com to revive Bitcoin Faucet, a website that rewarded users with BTC for completing CAPTCHA tasks. The site mimics the original Bitcoin CAPTCHA page given by Gavin Anderson in 2010. Very cool. And then this one too. Binance founder CZ proposes BNB and BTC for Kyrgyzstan's national crypto reserve after joining the country's national crypto committee. Very cool stuff. I've got some base guys in the house. I don't want to keep reading for the rest of the night. Let's get the guys on and see what they think about what's going on. I've got Jack Bin Switch in the house. Welcome, Jack.
What's up, man?
How's your day been? You got a good start to your week? Started off on the right foot?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Restful. Slept in today. That was nice.
Good.
And then, worked all weekend.
Hard, man.
How's it going?
I'm doing really good, man. Getting excited for Vegas. That's right around the corner, so it looks like things are on the up and up with that, and I'm really excited to do some coverage, man. It's starting to really set in, Jack. It's a proud moment for me, man. I worked really, really hard to get here, so it's kind of like one of those. Trying not to get all like mushy and soft, but it's a big moment for me, man. I mean, we got peace, love in the house. It is a night, so you don't gotta hide it.
What's up, man? I'm sorry I'm a little late. I was actually just having a really cool conversation with codename Satoshi about some of the cool things he's got working on DeOrganized. One of the coolest things is he's got testnet for events and games back up, but you can only access them if you've connected your testnet wallet to your DeOrganized Media account. So you have to, the way to whitelist your wallet is just that you have to have a DeOrganized.media account, and then connect you can actually add your testnet wallet on your DeOrganized.media account. So it's now you can associate. So anyone that's doing testnet stuff with a connected wallet can actually be incentivized. We can airdrop stuff to. It's associated with a regular Stacks mainnet wallet, so we can airdrop stuff. There's
that's it.
So basically, what you're saying is watching DeOrganized, who already brings you the alpha, can now be leveraged to become an airdrop magnet if you participate in testnet activities potentially. That's kind of where we're at right now.
So we can help promote projects on testnet and provide incentivization capacity for testnet users through DeOrganized.
Pay attention. Pay attention, guys. This is how you win. Okay, this is exactly how you win right here.
Staying ahead of the curve, man. That way to kind of connect the two wallets, like the testnet wallet and the one to send rewards to, is huge. And not to mention the DApp system on DeOrganized.media. That's codename Satoshi built.
Yeah, we were going for about half an hour or so. We didn't even get to that. We didn't even get to the dApps because we were talking about some other cool things. Like we're talking about so events is like live ticketed events. Like he's been working on for a while with Rising Tide. And one of the things we're talking about is he actually suggested something really cool, and it would be kind of like for people that are going to Vegas, they get an NFT with a QR code, and they have to find one of us. If they find us, we scan the QR code, it processes a transaction, and they get airdropped an NFT. That's something he was talking about. Yeah, I don't even. I'm not even sure. Like, there's a number of different ways you can apply it.
I mean, we call that. It's like Where's Waldo, but in real life,
finding
the organized crew. It's cool.
Right. Yeah, it's wicked cool. That's like just next level stuff, man. And like, we were talking about some interesting ideas for gated live stream stuff that we could facilitate now with events and stuff like that. How it's going to work with the organized media, like episodes. There's going to be basically a pay-per-view button to add like events, like pay-per-view events as an episode.
Oh shit! I'm getting some feedback.
Is it me? Is it me again?
Probably a little bit. Your mic sounds a little fuzzy too. You might not have to be on the right setting. Probably on the computer audio. But it happens, whatever.
That better?
A little bit. I don't hear myself anymore.
That's what it was.
That might have been on the morning show too. It does sound a little bit better now.
Yeah, no, you know what it was? I think I was on my computer audio, like for my vocal. I had my phantom power turned off, so my mic wasn't getting power. So it's not supposed. The last time that happened, I live streamed for like 15 minutes. Trips in the live chat saying we can't hear you. Little pantomime Joe.
And you're just in the zone, like reading the readouts and stuff, dude. I know it. Like whenever you get in that zone, there's no stopping you. You just like you get the news done and like.
Well, this was way back too when it was just like a 15-20 minute show. You know, I would just the news segment was all it was, and it wasn't even like an organized news segment. It was largely me coming on and saying, you know, things are good. Let's go. Go stacks. Now it's just like a longer extended version of that.
I have to commend you, sir. You're a badass, bro. You know, you built this ground up, and now this is a legit. People come here for their news. They come here for their entertainment. It's a go-to. It's a go-to for anything that you want.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, brother. But I mean, both of you guys were instrumental in this being a thing by a large degree. I definitely didn't do this all by myself. So there's a lot of credit to go around, I should say.
Bunch of badasses in the same room. Badass shit happens
in this place. I will agree with that. And I'm not complaining. I'm a badass. Yeah, I'll tell you. You know, I'm generally a nice guy, but because I don't want to not be. But I'm tough. I can take it.
You gotta be tough to be in this space. you gotta love the pain.
Yeah, bunch of pain freaks.
Yeah.
Oh shit! So how are we feeling, fellas? We feel like the price actually turned sideways. What are we feeling like right now? I feel like it got a little quiet on this Monday. Nice call.
We hit a better high. I think we hit a higher high than I was expecting. So I think we're in good shape. Do you think we need to now set that higher low? Looks like we're doing that.
I think that's the case.
There's been so much bullish news. How can you not be bullish? Like the short-term price action doesn't reflect
what's being
all
built.
the stuff going on in the ecosystem. Just Bitcoin, stacks, everything, crypto, everywhere. It's everywhere. It's the story every day.
I think that what we're looking at is as soon as you have, at least here in America, when you have some good consumer relief, you know, coming by way of decreased inflation, you know, lower taxes, better jobs, higher wages, whatever it may be. I think you've got a lot of people sidelined who know a lot more about crypto than they had ever before, because it's not just this thing you go on Twitter to learn about anymore. It's all over the news, man. You know, like it's everywhere. I think when you see, but you have people that are just like strapped. They just don't have a lot of extra money to to spend on stuff. I think when you start seeing that changing, you're going to see retail come in a way that we've never seen it happen before. Right now, this has primarily been an institutional game, for a while now. So it's like 30K.
So it's like one of those things, calm before the storm.
Yeah, and I think that the smartest people in the space are working on and have been working on making crypto on-ramps easier and more accessible. And even now, I can't remember which titan of TradFi it was last week, announced that they're going to build a whole centralized exchange just to trade crypto. And I think it's this year, it'll be out in 2026. So who are they going after? They're not going after us. They're going after, probably people like me and Peace, who are like, younger Gen X and then older Gen X and above, who use their platform for their stocks and trading and whatnot. And now they'll have crypto on there as well. You see things like this happening over and over again, and it's just a reminder that at the end of the day, it's just a matter of time. If like the news media, accurately reported, what things were like for your average American family this past 4 or 5 years, in terms of things like cost of living, people would be like, oh, you'd have depression. People would be like, oh my God, like it's really that bad. But it has been that bad. But that's got to get better. I mean, make no mistake about it.
And you've got Trump calling for rate cuts and all of this, kind of loosening of the it's called quantitative tightening, right? Whenever they start to raise rates. And
I think FOMC's tomorrow too, isn't it?
Is it? We have FOMC tomorrow?
I think so. Have to go double check.
To cover if we do have Fed minutes tomorrow. Let me look it up real quick and see. Because if we have meeting, Fed minutes, is it May 6th?
6th through the 7th. So they probably won't. So probably Wednesday. It doesn't have a specific, it doesn't say when it's going to be released. Probably Wednesday.
So I guess we'll see, man. We've covered one of those before whenever he was speaking. It's a good one. Maybe we do a little coverage of the FOMC. Maybe if we can get some.
As long as it's tomorrow. The only thing, not tomorrow. Usually it's at 3:00, right?
Yeah.
So tomorrow or Wednesday, I should be able. Tomorrow and or Wednesday, I should be able to join something like that.
That should be good. That would be fun. You ought to see if we get a hold of Landy too.
Yeah, get Landy on the show whenever Fed minutes going down. He's got some base takes and follow along with it. So kind of get a good gauge on if they're hawkish or dovish.
Well, it'd be nice to see him lower interest rates. I mean that would be excellent, dude. Like,
talk about things taking off immediately.
It would help.
Yeah.
I personally don't expect that to happen anytime soon, because I think the economy is too good.
Right. They see the economy getting better. They're not going to want to turn it around immediately.
I don't think we have to have rate cuts in order for the bull run to continue either. By the way, I think that it's only a matter of time before supply and demand mechanics they can only manipulate the news cycle about it for so long. There's more Bitcoin being bought than there is being mined by a lot. Institutional buyers here, they're obviously suppressing the price. They can't keep doing it. They just can't. So this is not financial advice, but I do think that there's huge upside coming right now for Bitcoin from where we are. tremendously, and I think that there's nothing they can do about it. I don't think we're going to get rate cuts in the short term. Personally.
Yeah, all that Bitcoin's being bought OTC though, right? Isn't that's over the counter? They're buying it from like Coinbase directly, right? A lot of it.
Yeah, but where's Coinbase getting it?
True.
The exchange supply is something that Landy's been talking about a lot for a while, and
That's
once there's a sentiment shift, watch the fuck out. It's gonna go. It's gonna. I think. What do I know? But if they cut rates, by the way, if they do cut rates, that will set it off. I just don't know that it's happening anytime soon.
I think that a big part of this is just engineered to keep as much Bitcoin going to TradFi as humanly possible.
Yeah. Well, if you were TradFi, what would you do?
Oh, exactly.
You have to buy it. They've been buying it since 2020 easily.
Yeah,
they've been buying it. All of them since before that. Some of these institutions, I mean, one way or another, and they're just buying and buying and buying right now. It's you got more and more companies coming out with a strategy model where they're selling corporate bonds and buying Bitcoin and then re-leveraging that for more debt, buying more Bitcoin and re-leveraging the value of that as it goes up. Like that's going to be the plan that's going to be the model. Where is that Bitcoin all going to come from? They can only slow it down. They can't stop it. They know that. They've known that for decades, for 2 cycles. They really know that they can't stop it. They can only slow it down.
Just slowing it down. That's all they can do is slow it down. So like we're seeing more and more nations, like I said while I was reading the news, more nations, more everything, like institutions, universities, scientific groups, you name
This
it.
This is the institutional adoption cycle. And next cycle will be the mass adoption cycle where everyone has to use it because it's just ingrained. That's coming. But that's not this cycle. That's not this next couple of years. Next year and a half or so. We're within a year probably of the peak right now.
That's why I'm so bullish on Stacks. Look at all the functionality that it brings to the Bitcoin that all of these institutions are buying.
Right. Stacks has the DeFi functionality here now already. It's building out a tremendous app layer for the base user layer, the average, the retail adoption layer. And it's really cool. And the people that are building it the right way. It's a very integrated community. We're building right alongside with Zero Authority DAO and Rafa at Factory Fund and Rosar with Charisma and Blaze. All Crypto Dude with all the cool stuff he's building out, and Zenatron with all the cool stuff he's building out. We're all friends, all working towards the same goals, and we support each other. So it's really it can't not succeed. It can't not succeed.
I get really excited when I think about the STX app season. With that Biddle Battle, it brought in a lot of different builders from other ecosystems, and we have base builders that were already building here already. Only good things can come from it, and now we even have Stack Descent to where builders can get some sort of funding or base of knowledge of how and who to talk to, so it's good. Like the app boom is coming. It's right around the corner.
There's the reason to be bullish is not just the short-term action. The reason to be bullish is because there's real stuff being built here. Jack knows. Jack's been around for a while. Jack knows when there was nothing going on. Like it was exciting to have and NFT to buy. You know, because there weren't any. Like that was a new thing. It was novel. Now they're passe. Not that there's some great NFT projects, and there's some that are not going to make it. There's a lot of tokens out there that aren't going to make it. But there's some great projects out there. They're out there now, though, and anyone can go make a token. It's really easy to do. So if you have an idea for a project, you can put a token out there, and if it makes sense to have a token and put a project together, you can do so. So the barrier to entry for all of that stuff has gone way down. So you got all this new activity going on. And at first there was a lot of just like random tokens coming out and projects that had a lot of promise, but no real clear idea how you were going to get there. That didn't turn out to be anything. But now we've gone through all that, and there's all this actual real legitimate use case functionality being built that's not really token design. It's not a currency. It's about building functionality on chain and using the chain to create value and to control the value that people create, like to be able to retain control of what you build and what you contribute. And that's it's only going to lead to more options for us to create a more inclusive social structure, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty base take, Jack. That NFTs aren't dead; they're just being iterated on. Coming out of this news that Rubes is going to be getting 2 boxes of the VFriends Topps cards. Topps getting involved. Topps is a card brand that has been around for a very, very long time. One of the
older than me, I'm pretty sure, actually.
Yeah, it's one of the most well-known trading card brands. From they did baseball cards, basketball, football. They even there's some Pokemon Tops out there. You know what I mean? They've did every single type of trading card that exists. And to see that an NFT collection is being integrated and turned into Topps trading cards is bullish on NFTs, man. I think it's an exciting time. I do agree that they're being iterated on, and we'll see more and more IPs born from NFTs that turn into other things than ever before.
No, 100%. And that's why it's foolish for when people say this is dead when referring to something to do with crypto. You're way too early to be making such declarations. You know that this concept's dead. No, NFTs had a boom, just like ICOs had a boom, just like meme coins had a boom, just like DeFi had a boom. Like, don't be a retard. Okay.
Yeah. People that say something's dead were actually late.
Right.
That's why they say it's dead, because they bought the top.
I mean, if you just look at and you just say, okay, just like with the Topps thing, for example, like people who collect baseball cards or comic books or any of those such things, why do they collect them? Usually because they're a fan, right? And what's the thing that sucks if you're a fan and you get a really cool baseball card or you get a really cool comic book, you don't want to mess it up, right? you people put these things in vaults and shit like that, right? So
yeah, humidors and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the best way to not only certify that you own this thing, but also to be able to enjoy it by having a physical copy and a digital copy, and whichever one winds up being more valuable, it doesn't matter because you can still enjoy your digital copy without having to worry about ruining it, and it shows that it's yours. And at the very base level, it's that. Beyond that, it gets even bigger. I'm old enough to remember having a very good time going to Blockbuster on Fridays to go rent movies.
Yeah, dude.
And if Blockbuster didn't have
half an hour looking at all the videos.
Right.
Dude, I'm in the last generation that got to experience Blockbuster.
Yeah. And if Blockbuster didn't have your video, you went to your mom and pop And then like that, they had like the different selection because they couldn't afford to have all of the brand new shit. So you could go find some like B movies and stuff like that, you know.
Hollywood Video for me is that one. Hollywood Video. And when Blockbuster, if they didn't have it, you might look out with Hollywood Video. But if they don't have it, you got something else that you're gonna want to watch anyway.
Right. And where are we now? I can go right to my TV and access, literally thousands of things to watch.
Everything.
With no problem, right? I would pay a small fee, thousands of things to watch.
Look at Buddy the Wonder Pup. Hey, Hassan, how we getting big like that so quick? Look at him, dude.
Yeah, he's definitely
he's
going
big.
Oh,
and
man, he's gonna. He's over 40 pounds already.
He's a
back then, none of us knew about what streaming would be.
Yep.
None of us had any clue. Like that was coming.
Just before streaming, there was Redbox.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You went to get a Blu-ray from you traveled outside of your house to go to the Redbox. That was like a very small blip of time. It was only like a couple of years.
For a minute, some people got paid a ton of money. Right. Other people lost their shirt investing in that shit because it looked like it was going to replace the video stores, and it did. Until
Netflix, when they came out, their model was they would send you a DVD in the mail.
Right.
Right. So
Redbox and Netflix were kind of the same concept, only Redbox you had to go to the spot, and Netflix you could actually just get it delivered.
And I'm telling you,
like however long you wanted it.
As sure as we're sitting here, that your next iteration of movies, in terms of owning movies, because when you go to streaming, you don't really own a movie anymore. The only way you can still own a movie is if you get the DVD, right? Like if Amazon has
on YouTube, like I have a lot of movies that I can watch whenever I want on YouTube in my YouTube library, and I probably have a couple on Amazon that you can pay like $5 to watch it once, or you can pay $10 to just have it. Right. Some movies I'll pay to have it, but it's still that's as long as I have an account with Google.
And that's as long as like there's not a falling out between Google and Sony, whoever licensed that movie, and now some shit happens and all of a sudden you don't own the movie anymore, right? So NFTs will be the next way by which you own movies. And NFTs will be the distribution method for people who start making way better movies thanks to AI than you're currently getting out of Hollywood.
You heard it here, dude, on DeOrganized Nightly. Jack is calling it yet again, and Jack is like, 10 for 10 at this point since I met Jack. Jack has called so much shit. Movies, NFT movies is next.
Yeah, and it'll be a huge, because content creation's not going anywhere, guys. Content creation's only going to get more ubiquitous as it gets easier and people have better tools to make cooler content. And you're already starting to see some really good 3D stuff in movies being made via AI now. So when you have things that are so good that, they become huge, what's the best way to distribute that? You're not going to make DVDs out of it, not to you're not going to go back. There might be some sort of streaming, but if you want to own it, you're going to have an NFT.
You're not going to pay Netflix to get on the radar. You're not going to go through the whole system of getting listed there. Yeah, I see that. I can see that. That makes sense.
And that's because of its very very basic foundation of the concept of NFT is proving that you own something. Now you tell me there's not use case in that, and I'll call you an idiot. Like, of course there is. So no, NFTs are not dead, and it's just a matter of, this is what it's like to be early. Getting back to stacks, we're talking about how, man, like been in stacks a long time, and you see all these things change and this, that, and the other, and it's because you're early. Like,
think of this: you mint an NFT and then you get a say in how a piece of the story is told, and then that's what like creates the movie. It's not one person; it's a decentralized way to make a movie.
There's a million different things,
Crazy
options that open up, and it's no different with musicians. It's no different with making music, and because these are all art forms. It just so happened that the first art was visual art, and that makes sense. That checks out, but it's only going to grow, and again, just like in stacks, you used to have to wait like a whole bunch of minutes to do a transaction, and there wasn't a whole lot going on. And now, like, you already have DeFi, like real DeFi on Bitcoin, and you have transactions that take seconds, and you just happen to be early. And the big green candles, when they come, that's when everybody learns about stacks, and that's when everyone who's here is like, "Oh wow, okay, I'm not early anymore. This just got crazy," and
Do you
that's
think
coming.
so? There was a meme that was flying around last year, like early last year, the repricing of STX, right? That was it's not so much a meme, but like a belief almost. Like it's one of those things that. Do you believe that stacks will go from here to there and before you could even realize it? Is it going to happen in no minutes at all? Is it going to happen instantaneously? Like the repricing is here.
Well, let's look at it like this. It probably wasn't 2 months ago. We had a conversation on DeOrganized. We were talking about stable coins, and we were talking about how half of Ethereum's TVL was due to stable coins, 50%. Now today it's 65%. So in 2 months, you could basically say Ethereum's like value as a token has depreciated against its level of stables, or there's just been that many more stables added to it. The 15% change in just a matter of a couple of months in terms of what ETH's worth versus the stables using the network. With stacks, our stablecoin market is still small. Our liquidity in stablecoins is tiny relative to market cap. And that's something that you're going to see change here very soon, because stacks is, in order to have DeFi, you need stables and you need that liquidity. And we've got excellent stable in USDH. And, when you have your more ubiquitous stables like USDC, they'll be more easily bridged over into this ecosystem. And you're going to see the stable, that in and of itself is going to drive our TVL way, way higher. We have so much room to grow on there. And in terms of the token itself, well, look at how small the ecosystem is right now. And if you multiply and you add on 100,000 users, yeah, you're going to see a pretty drastic price increase. Will it happen overnight? No, but what'll happen is every time you log on your trading view, you're like, okay, I've been sidelined. I want to see what this STX thing's doing. Damn, no pullback. Damn, no pullback. A little pullback, but it's not quite the level I want. Damn, no pullback. And then FOMO buy. That's about how that process is going to go for most people.
Uptrend to uptrend to uptrend. Yeah, okay, I can see it. Yeah, dude.
So-
and stables
Just
like USD, they haven't been minting on Sol. I mean, ETH. They've been minting on Sol lately too. So that stablecoin market cap is growing over there in Sol. Sorry, peace.
No, it was just irrelevant. You're right, though. There's the move into stables means that people weren't good with the price action for that asset, and we saw the price action go down. And that's why there's more stables now in those tokens. Partly also because we had a slight relief rally, and people are taking profits to get back into the plus territory. So that's why the prices have corrected back again. That's why we're going to set this higher low, because there's more of the people that were buying a bottom. They weren't buying a relief rally hoping to get a little bit of like scalp out. You know what I mean? It wasn't a scalp play from those people that were buying at that last bottom, but there was some people taking profits at the timing the high, the local high, and all that. That's why you're seeing more stable coins. But the overall, people are going to start focusing on the value more too. You're going to start seeing less risk plays in. I don't want to say it's hard to, not the same as like a risk on versus risk off scenario, but I think you're going to see people looking for more value plays in the space versus lottery ticket, get rich quick kind of come up plays through the rest of the cycle. Like a Rucoin is a value play because it has some legitimate value in the ecosystem. There's a community behind it. There's a bunch of stuff behind it. There are a number of other projects that might be a little bit more flash oriented that I think will not do as well in the next leg as we get there. But I still think we have a little bit of time to. The macro situation is tough. I mean, it really is. There's a lot of reshuffling of the deck going on the world stage, and while a lot of the posturing and the politics in the short term is narrative driven, talking points driven, not really based in reality. China just blinked, for instance, last week. China's not, they're not going to, we're still the big dog in the trade war. We control more of that than they can't afford to have us not buying their shit. That's the bottom line. They can't. So there's going to be a continued shift as things realign. And that's going to take a little while to shape out. And until there's more certainty around how that's going to look, we're going to see a lot more sideways still.
Yeah, but you're not trying to, especially in these market conditions, unless you're like playing in a casino, you're not buying for quick flips. But what you can set yourself up for 26, 27 real nice by making smart moves now, and that's really where your mindset has to be if you're paying attention in this kind of market condition. And I mean, to people in crypto, especially newer people, it takes a while to learn like how the market goes. You could be super bullish on this one thing, but if the market structure on the macro level is not bullish, it probably doesn't matter, right? Like, there's only so much liquidity to go around. There's only so much attention to go around. And but right now, if you're looking at things, you're really looking at a longer time frame in mind. And guess what? If you're not, well, you can go to Saks and you go to the Velar perp decks and you can trade perps. You can trade perps anytime. It's not fun trading sideways, but when you have a lot of volatility in the market like you do right now, if you're a perps trader, like you can.
That's your bread and butter.
Fun. It doesn't get much more ideal for people who like to trade volatility than we've had the past few weeks, right? But otherwise, if that's not you, if you're just like, I'm bullish on crypto and I like this stuff, your mindset should be finding good entries and being able to sit on your hands. And that's when you really make it. Because guess what? When you think about like, oh man, I wish I could have bought Bitcoin at 10 cents. You have some people who did and have continued to hold, but the vast majority sold at 20, sold at 30, sold at 40, sold at $1.
Lost the computer.
Right. Like, you had people, you've got people in the chat right here who was buying Link at like 50 cents, right? Like,
My little brother.
There's
The
like
one good move he made in crypto was he got Link at 52 cents.
Yeah. So like if you like sit here and you have the right mindset, your mindset is find things now that you have enough reason to believe that they're going to appreciate in the future, and that's the play. If you and you're lucky because the only time these situations come around is because nobody is paying attention. So if you're actually here now paying attention, this is what you do. You use that to your advantage. And then when all the mania sets in, your biggest worry is just figuring out how much you want to keep and where you want to sell. That's it.
Facts. Yeah, dude. I think that is exactly where I'm at. I'm trying to accumulate as much stacks as I can, and locking that up and like stacking DAO and liquid stacking tokens so I can earn some yield on that. Supplying it as collateral and then borrowing USDH for cheap on the cheap to buy more stacks, and leveraging that way. It's the base play of this ecosystem right now, I feel like, and the people that are utilizing these tools and protocols that we have, we have real, like you said, we have real Bitcoin DeFi going on here. There's so many arbitrage plays, dude.
Speaking of that, Velar is about to list STX on the perp decks.
Ooh!
That's going to be my next play. I'm going to be borrowing USDH to long stacks.
Yes, sir. And then you could be earning 5% for opening up a long position on Bitcoin with USDH. So that's two different ways you can earn with the one. You're early to stacks and you leverage trade stacks to the upside into the repricing, and two, you leverage trade Bitcoin and earn 5% for opening the position.
77 cents. So could you imagine if they had perp trading when it was like 50 cents?
Right. Yeah.
That's
like it's a great time. Yeah. So again, and this is happening here where, that's why I'm bullish on Velar. That's why I'm bullish on STX. That's why I'm bullish on USDH, because it's basically an entire new thing that a lot of people haven't caught on to what it really means. It's more than a stable coin. It's almost like Hermetic is the first Bitcoin bank. Like, there's a lot to be bullish on, and you just have to be paying attention. And if you're seeing this right now, you're paying attention. So use that to your advantage.
Big shout out to my guy Millie, man. Happy Monday, brother. Yeah, we're early. It's hard to kind of comprehend how early right now. What I think about is like, are Bitcoiners going to want to trade Ethereum, or Bitcoiners going to want to put their Bitcoin to work via stacks? And
well, look at it this way. I consider myself a Bitcoiner. I'm sure you guys do as well. So you have to be more specific. Bitcoin maxis, they don't count. I think you can convert a certain amount of people who would consider themselves maxis. I think we've already seen that start to happen. But some of these people are there to sell things, right? And they're not very honest, and they get big followings. And then there's some people who it's like this idea of being a maxi, some kind of religion. It's like
it really is weird.
It would be a heresy to purchase something that's not like Satoshi's high priest is going to come and put you in a fucking medieval torture device. If you get another coin,
Capped, man. You better be careful, bro.
So maxis is a different story. I think really to be considered a Bitcoiner, is probably just someone who understands why it's prudent to be bullish on Bitcoin and what makes Bitcoin good, and wanting to have Bitcoin and wanting to see Bitcoin, do what we all know it can do, which is provide a better financial foundation for people to build their lives on, and that scales, and Stacks is something that helps scale that. So yes, I'm a Bitcoiner, but some of those other guys, I don't know, man. Like some will learn, some will get out of their religion, they'll become heretics, and they can join our ranks. But people who have things to sell and big audiences built around that, I don't know. Like, narratives shift, and they can figure out ways to leverage their audience into other narratives. So at the end of the day, really, what it means to be in crypto is to be able to think for yourself, because up until this point, in order to find a space and be in a space and participate in a space, you have to exercise critical thought to some degree, to if you've been here any amount of time, right? Because a lot of people come in here being like, oh, easy money, cool, oh shit, I just lost everything. And to stay past that is to recognize what it actually means. And to be able to recognize what it actually means does not mean that you have to, like, ingest somebody else's doctrine. It means you think for yourself. And I think that businesses can't afford doctrine. Businesses have to go with the best solutions. And I think that things like Stacks and Bitcoin make a lot of sense to businesses, because I don't like how Visa and MasterCard are getting ready to, like, become huge stablecoin, use entities where they use stablecoin rails, because at the end of the day, they're still going to charge for their services way more than they should. So, people who are exposed to this stuff and recognize the opportunity, they can also run their business off of, for instance, stable coins and these kind of rails that provide for instant settlement. And that's why, like, Block 9 ultimately exists. That's why we ultimately exist, trying to,
educate everybody, man. You ain't getting a 2% loan on a stable coin with MasterCard ever. I'll call that right now. So
they charge people like 5%, I think, on transactions. What they go to stables, maybe they'll charge them,
But the interest rate is like 20-something% on a credit card. Credit card.
So that it pays to be a Bitcoiner, because if you're here learning about this stuff and you have Bitcoin, or you want Bitcoin, and you can see all the different ways you can put it to work to help make a better financial future for your family, starting with you, going into perpetuity, this is the place to be.
You know what my nephew said, man? Going into his last soccer game, he was warming up with me, and he said, when I grow up, I want to work on Bitcoin. Because he's paying attention, dude. He's paying attention. He's in the know, and I'm teaching him. So it's awesome. Yeah, dude. It was like one of the proudest moments. And then he went and scored a goal. Forget about it. Proud uncle.
Very nice. Dude. I had my daughter had a friend sleeping over like 2 months ago. She slept over, her friend slept over a few times since then, but like it was a couple months ago was the first time she'd ever been to the house. And I had obviously been doing the show, so I was like, on shows and calls, and she comes in the room, she's like, do you work for Bitcoin? I was like, well, kind of.
So good, dude. That curiosity is where it starts, right? They see somebody else doing it, and then that's the way we kind of empower them, by just doing our thing, carrying the ethos in the correct manner, and then educate them whenever they ask questions. So yeah, dude, this has been a bomb ass episode. I always love getting to shoot the breeze with you guys and talk about the things that we're bullish on and the different news in the space. You know, we are at about that hour and a half mark, so I'm gonna go get me some food, get me some grub in me. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to the conversation? I want to shoot around the room just one time, and Steve, I'll go to you first, man.
Yeah, man, I don't have anything else much to say. I talk all goddamn day long. So, I love you guys. Happy Monday. We got another week, another great space. Happy to be here with you guys. That's all I got to say. You guys have a great rest of your night, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, man. And Jack, anything else to add, brother?
No, Steve said it best. You know, we're in the right place at the right time, and this is where opportunity is right now. So
right now, do it.
take advantage.
Go take advantage. Buy you some Bitcoin. Thank you, fellas. I hope you guys have a blessed night.
Later, man.
Later on.
Bye, guys.
And this has been another awesome episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars together, talk about the latest news, kick out some high-frequency vibes, and keep you in the know. Be sure to follow DeOrganized BTC on X. Tune in for the Let's Go morning show at 8:30 a.m. ET Monday through Friday. And come kick it with your boy GP on the DeOrganized Nightly segment at 7 p.m. ET. Go follow the main Stacks handle. You know you want to do it. Get you some STX. Buy you some SBTC. The only one-to-one Bitcoin-backed wrapped Bitcoin asset that is fully decentralized with no federated systems. Yeah, stay in the know, guys. Keep the frequency high. Keep it rolling. Keep the momentum going. It's been a base Monday with DeOrganized. Y'all have a blessed one. Peace.